each other as family friends as well. But how I came in contact with him was through one of my ventures, Mango Mobile TV. And we were both, we had a common friend, and that's how I ended up getting in touch with Srini, and then one thing led to another, so we've and that friendship has remained, although we both moved on from that venture. So Srini, my suggestion is please talk a little bit about yourself, some of the ventures that you're doing as well. And you're involved in a lot of legacy world startups as well, not the next app or the next cool website, right? So that's so for a lot of us, motels, small businesses, another franchise is the usual universe that we are used to, right? And maybe one odd app out there, right? And if some of us who are in the enterprise, we all came on H1Bs maybe, right? So, and then we are all used to enterprise. But there is another world out there, so which is the world that Srini is part of. He's done a ton of stuff. I can't talk enough about him, but so let him come and share, and then I promise you it will be every bit as valuable and useful. Right?
Thanks, Murli. Thanks, Steve, for this opportunity. And I apologize I'm in the way of lunch and you guys. It's an unfortunate situation. So yeah, let me try and see how quickly I can get through this session here, and hopefully you leave this session with one or two things that you can take away. I'm your typical immigrant. I came to the US in '92. It's been a long time, and I came here with an ambition. It is a great country. So I went to school in India in the middle of nowhere in Rajasthan, and institution called Pilani, and most of you may know that. And I was doing my practice school, which is a training in the 4th year. And can you hear me okay now? Yeah. So I was doing my training in my final year, and I was in Delhi, and I had no intention of coming to the US. My parents wanted to meet me there. And I was doing my practice school in a company called Central Electronics. In Ghaziabad. And what I realized there was, it's a huge institution. People just walk in, they all wear uniforms, navy blue pants and light blue shirts. They come in, they close the gates, you can't get out, you can't get in. And they go in there and they're busy with something. I had no idea what they were doing on a daily basis, to be honest. So I went there with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement to do something. And one of our alumni was there from Pilani, and we were working under him. But everyone would come in, have tea, samosa, and chat for a little bit, and then spend more time eating and drinking, and maybe get 10-15 minutes of work a day, and then they walk. And within like a couple of weeks, I decided that's not what I wanted to do in my life. And I started working on my GRE and wanted to come over here and explore. It really scared me because I had so much of ambition, and that's not what I wanted to do. Then I came here. I went to the University of Houston in '92, and I came in for an electrical engineering degree, and I realized as soon as I landed, there's no funding, absolutely no funding. It was brutal, so I had to find my way out. So I figured there would be some funding in computer science, so I jumped to computer science right away. And it was so tough to secure funding there, and I went to a professor and he said, there's no funding available whatsoever, but if you do these 2 courses in the first semester, and you get A's in both, I'll consider that. And I was working all sorts of petty jobs there and trying to also do well in those 2 courses. And somehow I managed to survive through that. And the reason why I'm telling you all these stories is because it's all about some sort of adversity, some sort of failure in life, and that kind of extended throughout. And I'm very fortunate. I never considered myself to be one of those guys that struggle through life. But at the same time, I had a lot of ambition and had lots and lots of failures. So if nothing else, perhaps at the end of this conversation, you learn a little bit about what being an entrepreneur is. It's tough. There are times when you feel like, man, why did I pick this? It's pretty much like climbing Mount Everest, right? So either you're on the base camp, safe and secure, right? And you can have a nice cushy job, have a good life, and not worry about all the unpredictability when you go to the top. You're at 25,000 foot level, and you have no idea what's going to hit you there. Weather changes like that, and you can have an avalanche come your way. You have no idea. Being an entrepreneur, in my mind, is something like that. It's really tough life. So I'll talk about, in my mind, what are the key things that you need to look at, and also give you maybe some anecdotal evidence of what I've experienced in life. I've been involved in many, many ideas, and I'll try to give you contextual examples. So I think the number one thing in my mind, a lot of people think that the first thing you need to look at is an idea. I'm sorry I don't have a proper presentation. We're going through a lot with some of our portfolio companies, so I didn't have enough time to prepare a presentation. But so if you look at a high level, what are the things that you need to look at? The first one, in my mind, the first thing is the team. It's not the idea. Ideas are all over the place. Right? The dime a dozen. There are plenty of them out there. But the number one thing is the team. So there is a company out there which does a lot of analysis of empirical data. They analyze data from years and years of history. And Jim Collins is a management guru, okay? And he articulates this really, really well. He says, it's always who and then what, right? It's like getting on a bus and saying, okay, I'm going to drive somewhere. Who do you have on the bus, right? Before you begin the journey, you want to know who's on the bus. Because you'll go through lots of turns, and Vijay had a nice slide where it showed different paths all over the place, right? And when you make changes, you course correct, you want to make sure you're with the right people, right? Not only do you want to be with the right people, you want to have the right people in the right seats in the bus. So the guy who should be driving should be the one driving, not sitting in the back, right? And when you know that, and it's also equally important to get the wrong people off the bus. And we all are guilty of that. We don't do that enough. I know maybe it'll come for some of you later on in your journey. For many of the companies I'm involved with, the number one problem is people. Because they're keeping people that they shouldn't be keeping on the team, whether it's the sales guys never work out, or the marketing guy, or the operations guy. So I'll give you examples of all of those things, but that's the number one reason. So if you look at HP, back when they started in around 1930s time frame, the two founders, they got together. Do you think they came up with an idea? No, they said, okay, they had defined the space in a very grave manner. They said, okay, we want to be in the electronic component space. They didn't say, I want to build a calculator or a computer. They said, we want to build a great organization. Right? That was their objective. And they went public in 1950s, around 1950s. And if you look at their filing and their speech, it is all about the organization, the people. It is not about the idea. That's always how it has been. I think that's extremely important. People think that, oh, unless you have a cool idea, it doesn't work out. No, it's about number one. If you have the right team, you can make anything happen. And I've learned it the hard way. We had, with the supply chain company I started in the late 90s with two of the founders of I2. We generated a lot of revenue. We had a solid team. Even two of the founders from there, they had retired, they came out of retirement and we started this company. And we had a great product, but we didn't have a solid sales team. And we had some people we should have let go that we did not. So we were carrying the baggage and trying to do damage control for all the things that they were doing wrong. And that's one of the lessons I learned. When you it's never too late to fire a guy. You should just let that relationship go and move on. And through this analysis, and then let's get on to the idea, right? Of what idea is the right idea? I mean, all of you came with some great pitches. But an idea doesn't have to be the most unique and innovative idea. I know people get caught up with that, saying, how unique is your idea? I'm like, I don't care. I don't care whether the idea is that great or not. The first question I'll ask you is, who are the team members? How motivated are they? How passionate are they about this idea? Are they ready to fail? Fail not once, not twice, 10 times, 100 times, right? 3 out of 4 startups fail. These are venture-backed startups, right? So startups that don't even have proper funding, imagine where they would end up most of the time. And the people that actually succeed, they fail 95% of the time, and if they stick around and wait for the 5%, they're successful. If not, they're done by then, right? So they did some analysis on, just for ideas, I'll give you an example. They took all the publicly traded companies between 1972 and 2002, 30 years of history, around 22,000 plus companies, and filtered it down to 50 companies out of that, okay? And they looked at the performance of those companies. Can anyone guess between 1972 and 2002, which company performed the best out between in those 30 years? Okay, you have Intel, Walmart, Berkshire, I mean, all the companies, right? Can anyone guess which company may have done the best in those 30 years? Kimberly-Clark,
IBM.
IBM,
3M.
Starbucks. Starbucks didn't exist in 1972. So we want to have enough data points, right? So they took 30 years. And believe it or not, Southwest is the company that knocked it out of the park. It did 62 times more return. It gave 62 times more return than all other guys, individual guys.
Southwest Airlines?
I'm sorry?
Southwest Airlines?
Southwest Airlines. Okay? Can you imagine an airline doing that? Airlines going bankrupt, they're struggling, they cannot keep their feet on the ground. And Southwest, year after year.
Is it a timing zone? Because I don't think they're doing well in the last 5 years. Maybe
Yeah, I'm talking about 72 to 2002. So that's a pretty...
timing.
Timing is right. So I'll explain that a little bit more. So did they innovate their way? Did they come up with some really cool idea that people loved? No, they did not. In fact, you know what they did in 1972? These two guys wanted to start a company. They said, okay, Pacific Southwest Airline in Texas is doing awesome. Okay, why don't we go copy their playbook? So they went to California and picked up their playbook, copied it exactly. You know, whatever they were doing, these guys were doing. And they said, we're going to set up our mission of what are we going to do? We want to build a low-cost carrier that's awesome at service, customer service, and we want to be profitable every single year. That's a simple goal they had, that's about it. And they had a great team, and they executed year after year after year. That's all they did. Did they innovate? No. So they had 10 points on their vision statement. And out of the 10, 9 of them are still valid. Only one changed. The one that changed is that they've started doing long-haul flights, which they never did before. Okay? That's the only thing that changed between that time and now. Even now, if you look at all the other airlines and how Southwest conducts itself, there's a night and day difference between the two. Okay? But you can look at all the historic data. So what I'm trying to say is, you don't have to come up with the brightest and newest idea and run after all the social media. I'm not saying that's bad. You know, you can always do that. But your idea doesn't have to be the most innovative one. So in our portfolio, we have two recent additions. One is an idea for the beer industry. So we have a device that goes under beer kegs, measures the weight of the keg, and as people consume beer and inventory depletes, it sends signals to the cloud, and we replenish inventory. Okay, so we raised $7.5 million for that business, and we're raising more money now. And we built that product. So when the idea came to us, we looked at it. We said, okay, it's a hardware idea, but someone else can come up with the same idea. How do we become sticky with that idea? Right? So it's about data analytics. Right? If we can provide this information to consumers, right? If you're in a certain area and you want to know who's serving the beer I like the most, and it's freshly on tap, that's what's important for consumers. For restaurants, they want to make sure the bartender is not spilling beer or doing favors to somebody pouring more beer. So you want to tie your sales data to your consumption. So you can see who's on shift when I consume more beer than I sold, right? And then distributors want to know how much beer are my retailers selling and what are they carrying. So when they're running out, I can ship the next shipment to them. Brewers want to know, okay, how's my beer doing now? Right now, you know what they do? They have to go physically lift the beer keg because there is no visual indication on it to figure out how much beer is left in it. Okay? People just poured money into it. It was so easy to raise. It was one of the easiest raises, brought $7.5 million. And they're still trying to pour more money into it. Okay? Innovative idea, it's like the Internet of Things. Nest was acquired by Google for over $3.2 billion. So it's an IoT plus big data kind of play. Okay, that's one idea. Another recent investment we made is in an online ordering company for restaurants. So Devin, I guess, is somewhat close to what you're working on. So we do online ordering for restaurants. So we did this last four months or so ago. Is it a new idea? No, there are plenty of companies that are doing that. Why did we invest in that? It's because we feel that there's tremendous opportunity in that space. A lot of restaurants still don't have even a website. They can't even think about online ordering. And all of them have point of sale systems. So when someone places an order online, how do we broker it into the point of sale system? We felt that this business had the potential, and we can offer a unique service to all these restaurants where they don't have to go to Grubhub and put their menu there, and the menu aggregator is stealing their money, right? They have to pay commissions to them, they get all the analytics, they retain the customers, the restaurant doesn't retain the customers. We feel like there is a nice business model there and we can exploit. So that's not a new idea, but we feel that idea has legs, and we are putting a lot of money into that idea now. So these are two kind of different ideas. One is an entirely new concept. The founder for that company, the beer business, is a partner of mine who owned a brewery before. So he understood the problem. And then he said, okay, I want to solve this particular problem. And that's how it came about. So I guess ideas are, again, sometimes hyped up quite a bit. I would say focus on what will make money, right? Monetization. With the supply chain company we found, we started running after each and every idea that was out there without focus, and that really distracted us, and we didn't succeed as well as we could have. And Murli talked about execution. I think that's extremely important for any business. Most of the times you start with an idea, you get really passionate about it, you build something, and then the distractions start. Whether it's other team members, it's investors coming in and saying you need to do this, or your customers saying, hey, I need that feature. You have to know how to separate signal from noise. There'll be a lot of noise around you. And people will question your ideas all the time. And rightfully so. So you have to listen to all that and figure out what's the right path. Right? That's always a tough thing to do. Yeah.
You said signal versus noise. Could you use examples?
Yeah, I can give you examples. Right now, for instance, the beer business, right? We built the product. It's out there. It's being beta tested now. As we raise more and more money, investors have their own thought process, right? You're talking to more VCs because we need money to build the hardware, each one of those components. And when you're talking to investors, they come up with different ideas saying, oh, the app is not good enough, or you need to build this other piece app. But we have a plan, we have a goal, right? We have our path, clear path. We want to focus on that path and execute. If you start going in all directions, you will not succeed, right? Another example, the supply chain company we started in the late 90s. We started with a platform which is highly scalable, and then we built a forecasting and demand planning solution. So you input all the parameters of your sales and everything, and the solution would tell you what to order when for your business. That was nice and good. We sold it to two different companies, large companies, and it was going really well. Instead of putting a sales force behind it and going all out and selling that solution, we listened to one of these customers who was a huge $5 billion company. They said, we want you to build an order management solution because we have a problem with our order management solution. We put all of our resources on it, built an order management solution. We were done with it, then he said, oh, we want a reverse logistics solution. So when products are returned, how do you process those products? We put a team on it, built the reverse logistics solution. It took us 5 or 6 years to build all those products out. By the time we built the last module, the first module was obsolete because technology evolves every single day. That's the space and world we live in today. back, I wouldn't have done that. I would have said, no, we are not in that space, we are in this space, and that's our focus. Do one thing, and that one thing really, really well, where no one can touch it. Right? That's where you start. Yeah.
I have a question on, when you go with venture capitalists,
Yeah.
you also sacrifice autonomy to some extent.
Sacrifice, I'm sorry.
Your autonomy in decision making.
Yep.
So, in your experience, what is the moment that you felt that it was to be so mistake?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a complete mistake. So for the supply chain business, in fact, I feel we should have gone to an institutional investor. Many approached us along the way because we were generating nice revenue. It was a solid product. And we didn't pull the trigger at the right time. So knowing when to do that is extremely important. Going to VCs is always not a bad thing. You need to figure out who's the right person for you. Culturally, it has to be a right fit for you. Someone that brings a lot of value to you, not only the money, but the contacts and possibly an exit value and all of those things packaged together. And also figure out why you're going to a VC, right? You need to be very clear. You can't just raise money because you just want to raise money. There are two ways, right? So either you generate more revenue and pace yourself and survive longer, but always think ahead and figure out when you want to do the next raise. Or you raise a lot of money, and even if you don't have enough revenue, you can be Nest or one of these other guys that can get bought out. So it really is a case-to-case situation. Yeah.
What would be ideal point if you were to go to the institute? Do we have a space already established revenue, or is it just that in the idea phase or we have an idea?
Yeah, idea phase, VCs, most institutional guys won't look at you if you're just at an idea phase because they're into investing 2, 3, 4 million and up, and they'll invest a lot more money. So they won't look at you if you're a smaller company with just an idea. So you go to an angel investor or a set of angel investors that can put some money into it, whether it's $100, $200, $300,000, and you get it off the ground, generate enough revenue, and then you go to the institutional guys when you have some traction. The key question would be, do you have enough traction, and are you in a position where you can see? It's like searching for a job. If you search for a job when you're laid off, it's really tough. But if you're looking for a job and you have a solid job, but you want to explore, feel the waters and see what else is out there, what else can I do? Is there a more exciting opportunity? You're in a good bargaining position at that time, right? So as a business, you also have to figure out what is your need, right? If you have a dire need, you're not in a position to even make that decision. The business will make the decision for you. You have to go raise money. So thinking upfront, what your game plan is. That's why Murali was talking about the whole plan, business plan. Thinking about that upfront is extremely important. So for example, for our beer business now, we are looking at hardware, investment in hardware, because we have to build those sensors. Each sensor is pretty expensive. So there's a lot of capital investment in building that hardware. And then there is software expenses there. What is the right time? So we have a plan ahead, and we're trying to execute to the plan and constantly checking where you are as a business and making sure you're on track. And Vijay talked about that as well. He talked about sprints. I'll give you one example, so maybe that will clarify that further. In the early 1900s, there was an expedition to South Pole. I'm trying to make it story-driven so it's easier for you to stay awake. But there was an expedition to South Pole. No one had gone there before. So two groups of explorers started. One Norwegian one and one British team. Both started at the same time. Both equally experienced, almost same age group. And they had to go to South Pole and come back. And one group, every single team member died, the British group, every single team member died before they got back. Whereas the Norwegian team, they went there, they came back, they were just fine, all of them. The reason why the Norwegian team succeeded? It's because every single day they had a plan. They said, every day we'll do 15-mile march. Every day we'll do 15 miles. If it's bright and sunny, great day, I'm not going to kill myself and go 50 miles that day. I'm going to do 15 miles and then pitch my tent, get in, and relax. And the next day, the weather is bad, it's snowing, it's windy, it's crazy. I'm not going to sit in my tent. I'm going to weather the storm and try to do my 15 miles. If I do 7 miles, fine, but I do my bit. The other team, the British team, they went crazy. So if the weather is great, they would go 50 miles. And then they're tired, exhausted, and the next day if the weather is bad, they would sit in their tents. They exhaust all their supplies, and they're tired and weak. And they made to the South Pole 30 days after the first team made, and then on the way back they perished all of them. They also tried all sorts of innovative tools, which was probably not a good thing for them. Whereas the Norwegian did all the research, they had a plan, saying, okay, dogs and sleds would work, and we don't want to use motor sleds because they're not proven. Whereas the other team was fancy, like, hey, let's use motor sleds and go on those. And that didn't last too long, right? And these guys had a backup plans, and the other guys didn't have backup plans. So it's all about, risk mitigation, and for execution, the key is these 15-mile marches or 20-mile marches. You constantly have to tell yourself, how am I tracking the plan? Every single week, every single month, you have that plan and you check and see, are you on track or not? If you're not on track, you need to have a plan of how, if you're deviating, how do I get back on plan? So execution is extremely important. And then I talked about failure as well. I had a number of ventures where it starts off really well, everything is exciting, everything is great. And once hardships hit, whether it's the team quits on you or people don't have enough passion for it, you have to be passionate about your idea and be prepared to fail many, many times to get there. And passion, sometimes, it can be blind passion. People look at their idea and say, hey, I have the greatest idea, why are people not accepting it? Or they're very protective about it. That is not a good thing. You have to be practical about it. Look at, the monetization aspect and figure out whether it makes sense for the market or not, and listen to all the signals. I know it's hard to separate out signal from noise, but that's an important aspect as well. And, someone was talking about this Veterans Day the other day. There's a captain that his plane got shot in Vietnam, and he landed and he got captured. He was in prison for years. And then they asked him, and he struggled there. They didn't feed him, they beat him up. He came back and he's in his 80s. They asked him, how did you survive through the whole thing and rebound and you're able to do so well now? He said, you got it backwards. I'm doing so well because I went through all of that. So I know how to survive. So failure is a stepping stone to success. So don't think that if you fail with one idea that it's the end of the world. Some of you are getting an early start. I really appreciate your courage. It's a great thing. You should get started early. Actually, there is I think San Antonio, they have a boot camp for young kids, all the way starting from 6 or 7 years old, where they take you into a camp for a week and they train you in the entrepreneurship program. Again, it's like someone asked, right? So how do you push your kids for spelling bee or something else and drive them crazy? It's another one of those things, My wife thinks that maybe it's not the greatest idea to push them at this age. I have a different idea about it. I think at least they should get exposed to it. Not necessarily, we don't have to push them, but they need to get exposed to that, because that's the world we live in these days, right? So when I started in the early 90s, you had to spend $12,000 to buy a Solaris box to start building anything at that time. I cannot afford $12,000. I'm broke and struggling through college. I can't do that. These days, you go on Amazon, they cut their price about 40% last week on AWS, and you can go rent space for next to nothing and start a business. So it comes with both challenges and as well as benefits, right? It's a lot of unpredictability. Every day technology changes. There are 10 other guys doing what you're doing. So you have to figure out, how do I cope with that? And a lot of times people get carried away by listening to so many ideas that are all over the place because they're trying to be very unique. You don't have to be. Trust me, you don't have to be. The other thing for us, for Verge Ventures, which is a holding entity, we have multiple portfolio companies underneath. It's not about the jazz of the idea, it's about the practicality of, can I make money from this? At the end of the day, that's what wins. And B2C space is always challenging, so we have chosen to kind of try and stay away from that. We focus on enterprise applications. So the restaurant solution we sell, it's an online ordering solution for restaurants. So if you want to order takeout food, you go to the restaurant's website, it's actually a white label solution coming from us. Again, we're selling to businesses, not to consumers. And as the beer product is also the restaurateurs or the customers. So we've chosen to go down that path. So whatever your passion is, you figure out first of all, how can I make money? Because you can be blindly passionate about things, and I'm guilty of that all the time. I can name at least 10 ideas that I threw money on that never took off. One was in the collaboration space, like Bootcamp. How many of you know Bootcamp? 37 Signals, Bootcamp, yeah. Great product, we use it all over the place. We started a product 10 years ago that was exactly eerily similar to Bootcamp. What happened, we didn't spend enough money on it, we didn't put enough time into it, and it just didn't take off. And another thing is part-time doesn't work. I don't know how many of you are doing these ideas part-time. If you're doing that part-time, it's not going to work. I can tell you right now. I was at American Airlines when I started my career, and I struggled because I was not cut out for that kind of work. And I was on the enterprise architecture committee. I would go pitch ideas to the management team. They'd say, great idea, Srini, we'll give you money, and it never happened. I got frustrated. I tried different ideas. I started a company then, didn't work out. One fine day I said, you know what, I don't want this anymore. I just quit my job. My salary went from whatever it was to zero, all the way down, and I took the plunge. I was very fortunate that my family, I just got married. My wife probably thought I was crazy, but she was very supportive. So I got married and I told her, I'm quitting my job. And she said, are you sure? I said, yeah, I don't want to do this. And I wanted to go to my MBA. I had an admission to a top college, and I had an opportunity to go do this. I picked this route. Although I look back and regret, absolutely not. Never ever would I regret. And looking back, I don't think I can ever go back into a bigger company and work there because of just my psyche and my mindset. It just doesn't work for me. But what I realized is while I was there at American Airlines, I tried throwing money at many ideas. It never worked because I was never fully committed. So I would be there till 5, 6 in the evening and then go work on my idea all night sometimes. But there's nobody to take care of the idea during the day. It doesn't work that way. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, take the plunge. It's well worth it. So they say, Jim Collins says, greatness is a choice. Right? People have to make the choice to be great. Great people just are not born being great. It's a choice they're making, and that's the beauty of it, right? Each one of us, if we can tell ourselves, I want to be great, you can make it happen. It's about making that choice, right? And I'm taking too much time, so let me maybe wrap up this conversation with one example. Sugar Ray Leonard, he won, 4 or 5 boxing titles, world titles. When he was little, his siblings and friends would get on the school bus. He would refuse to get on the school bus. Instead, you know what he would do? He would run behind the school bus every single day. Whether it rained or it snowed, whether it was 100+ degrees, he would run behind the bus to school. They all mocked him, they laughed at him. He said, I couldn't care less. Why? He says, I wanted to be better than not just the guy next to me. I want to be better than everybody else. And he wanted to be really strong. And that's what he did. He ran every single day behind the school bus. So if you believe in your idea, are you ready to kind of run behind the school bus, so to speak? Are you that passionate about it? And we have the right team. And if you have those, give that a shot full-time. Don't do it part-time. Just take a plunge. And always measure. I took my first idea where I did that full-time. I spent more than 10 years on it. Looking back, big mistake. I shouldn't have done that. If it doesn't work out, in a year you don't get traction, in 2 or 3 years you're not where you want to be, take a step back, say, this is maybe not for me, evaluate. Right? Make sure you're with the right people, because early on when you start as an entrepreneur, you don't have enough experience. You make so many mistakes. You don't have proper legal documentation. So within like 3 or 4 years, partners start fighting. Saying, okay, you promised me this, or I have this percentage in the company and I don't have it now, or they don't have their stock grants. There are all sorts of problems later on. It's like a prenup. Day one, get your documents done. Doesn't matter what it is. Whatever the shares are, it's better to fight day one than to spend 3 years, 5 years, 10 years and then fight later. Right? Start at day one. Right? and then establish a set of core values. This is one thing I've learned over the years, and I'm sticking by it like a religion, which is core values. What are the core values of your business, right? Your culture. The people you work with should believe in the same culture that you believe in. When that doesn't happen, you're bound to fail, right? It starts from the top, all the way from the leaders to all the way to the bottom. When you're small, it's easy to manage them, but you need to have that. And one other example is a guy by the name of Ari Weinswig. He owns a daily called Zingerman's Daily in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Okay, I don't know how many of you may have heard of him. Very popular. It was named the coolest company, small business in America at one point. And they just have one store. And the line goes all the way down the street every day during lunchtime. Okay? They're fanatic about their food. A lot of people ask them, why can't you open it in Dallas and some other places? There's no, because if I open it in Dallas, I'm not there taking care of my customers. I can't control the recipe. I want to control the recipe. I want to control my brand. This is all I'm going to do. It's not leaving Ann Arbor. They give back to the community. That's all they do. And they have a vision. And they have a mission. And they stick by it. And I think that's very important. You find the right team, set up your vision of what you want to be. And vision and mission are two different things. We can talk for a long time about that. Your mission statement is about who you are and what you're going to do, who are your customers, and why are you doing this. Your vision is about where do you want to be in 4 years or 5 years, where do you want it to be? Each one of your ideas, if you believe in it, where do you want it? Is it about money, make a lot of money? Is it about the culture? It's about adoption? What is it? You define those core objectives, and that's your vision, and you stick to them like a religion. You stick it on your wall. Every day you can ask yourself, am I doing that or not? The day when you say, hey, I'm not doing that, it's time to either quit or change course. And whenever we did not do that, we failed. And Murli talked about the other entertainment company. We were involved together. That's one of the challenges we had with it. We had lots of issues with it. And I asked myself that question, saying, is this what I want to be doing? Is it heading in the right direction? Is there the team, the right team? A lot of answers were no. And we lost a lot of money, but so be it. Cut your losses. It's better than to stick with it and fail.
You talked about core values and culture, right? That is, can you elaborate on that? Why that is so important?
Yeah, it's
Can you give an example?
hugely important. Hugely important. If you take personalities, okay, there is Jim Collins talks about leadership, and there is different levels of leaders, right? You have a passionate leader, the guy that executes, and there's different kinds. The consummate leader is a guy that has humility, right? He never puts his agenda in front of the business's agenda or the investor's agenda. If you're taking people's money, you don't want to put your agenda in front of theirs, right? So you have to make sure that people fit in with that culture. Some people are very arrogant, some people are very brash. I'm not saying that's bad. It all depends on what culture do you want to build as a company. You want to be a cool company, you want to be a traditional company, right? Where you focus on sales and revenue. It's not all about the innovation and jazz. Some people always want to be innovative and every single day kind of reinvent. And Vijay talked about saying, hey, we just write code that's crap sometimes. If it's not crap, then it's not good. Well, I come from a different school of thought, so my philosophy is a little bit different. What we do with our culture is we want to be the best at what we do. We want people to come to us because we build the best products out there. And that's a culture I want to build, whether it's customer service with the online ordering company we purchased recently. I'm trying to reshuffle the team so that we serve our customers the best way possible. I pick up the phone, call restaurants, and I apologize and saying, sorry, your orders didn't go through, we're going to fix that. Here's how we're going to fix it. And I follow up with them and make sure that they're getting what they need. It's about that culture, and if you don't have the right fit in terms of culture, it's not going to work out. And each company is different. We're just thinking, I understand that. When you're really early, you're dabbling, you're trying to move quick, I get that. But our model is a little bit different. So we take the same patterns and apply from one idea to another idea to another idea. So if you have the right team, you can keep moving from one failure to another failure or one success to another success, and you know the formula, right? technology doesn't matter, guys, whether it is Ruby on Rails or Java or PHP or something else, Node.js, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, who's doing it, what's the culture, what are the values, and are you executing?
Since they're also across, I didn't bring up lunch, it's overdue for lunch.
I understand.
So, I don't know if you have a few minutes, maybe around lunch, they can still come and ask a few questions to you.
Yeah, I can hang around for a few minutes and then head out.
So, folks, lunch is in room number 312. What I recommend is you step out here through those double doors out there onto the corridor. For the rest of the afternoon, we will announce the votes and everything, the tally over there, and then you'll hardly see it. So Srini, he was supposed to leave at 2:30. He had a hard stop. He has kindly agreed to stay back for a few more minutes. So why don't we walk over there, pick up some lunch, feel free to ask him some questions, and then we'll announce the team, and then we'll part.
Thanks, everyone.
Before you go, so Srini, we still have to thank you for coming out here. So Srini, again, on behalf of team, thank you for coming here, spending your time with us. I request Prem, our strategy committee member, to hand over a plaque. Thank you guys, so we'll go for lunch.
And also, just remember there is a coffee bar inside, and you guys have maps out here. So once you go there for lunch and for sessions, there, this is where you can come. It's going to be there until 5:30.
Are you creating a 3D presentation?